This video is for Theme, Control and Sensing, Unit Scratch It, and this is video 5. In this video tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate to you how to add more scripts to our sprite. By adding more scripts to our sprite, we can add more features to our game. We can add more interaction to our game from the user. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm actually going to try and make the sprite move not by pressing the keys on my keyboard, but I want it to move based on wherever my arrow is on the screen. Now if you remember what I said in previous videos, I said that first of all, just before you write your code, figure out what it is you want to do and speak it out loud. So put it in simple terms what you want to do. So I'm going to speak it out loud. What I want to do is I want my sprite to always follow my mouse cursor. I also not only want it to rotate to face my mouse cursor, but I want it to move towards it. So I've understood what it is I want it to do. I'm now going to break it down even more. So I want sprite 1 to always point towards the cursor. I also want sprite 1 to always move towards the cursor. That's what I want to do. Now in order to do that, I'm going to have to use some of the commands again, and I'm going to have to make sure that I put these commands onto the sprite 1 scripts. So make sure that I've got sprite 1 selected and I've got the scripts tab selected at the top. Once you've done that, you then need to figure out, okay, how am I going to make the sprite interact? Previously, we've added instructions that say when right arrow key is pressed, move 10 steps. And I've done that with the other arrow keys. What I need to figure out here is when or what interaction must take place in order for that cat to move. Well, we always start our scripts, we tend to start our scripts with the control function here at the top. Now, what I want to do is, because I want to always make the cat move towards the arrow, I want to use this command, which is the when green flag clicked command. That means when I press this green flag, do whatever instruction comes underneath here. So let's go to motion, because I know that what I want to do is when I click that green flag, I want this cat or this sprite to face my arrow. Okay, so when green flag clicked, I can use this one. Point towards, drag that under here and snap it onto this command. When green flag clicked, point towards mouse pointer. So this means when I click this green flag, point this sprite towards my mouse pointer. Let's see what happens when I press the green flag. Now I press the green flag and you'll notice that the sprite has rotated. Now, why is it still not rotating? Why is it not following my mouse pointer? I said down here when I click the green flag, point towards the mouse pointer. What you need to understand is that these controls, these scripts that you've written, will only perform once. For example, this command here says when down arrow key pressed, change by -10. So when I press my down arrow, it runs that script once. It moves it down -10. It doesn't keep moving it down -10, it just does it once. So that's what's happened here. I press the green flag and it moves the sprite towards the mouse pointer once. Now that's not exactly what I want to do, because when I click this green flag, I always want this sprite to point towards the mouse pointer. So how can I do that? Well, if I go to the controls at the top here, I actually have an option that's called forever. This means forever do whatever I put underneath it. So what I want to do is I want to drag this between the when green flag clicked and put the point towards mouse pointer inside it. So now this is saying when I click that green flag, always, forever, point this sprite towards the mouse pointer. Okay, let's click the green flag and see what happens. And now you can see that the sprite is always rotating, but you'll notice a problem. And this goes back to something that I did in the previous video tutorial. You can see that the sprite, the cat, is not actually pointing towards the mouse pointer. It's actually pointing in the opposite direction. Now the reason for that, if I just press stop, the reason for that is because in previous video tutorials I actually flipped the costume of this sprite to face the opposite direction. Let me just correct that. If I click on sprite 1, go to costumes, you can see here, look, originally the sprite was actually pointing towards the right, but when I edited the sprite, this costume, I flipped it horizontally and pointed it so it's facing the left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to edit on this costume, and I'm going to press this button which will flip horizontally. Press OK. And now when I press the green flag, because of this script here, when I press the green flag, it will always point towards the cursor, the mouse pointer, like that. It's quite good. What I want to do next, if you remember, is I said I want the sprite to always face the arrow, which I've done, but I also said that I want the sprite to move towards the arrow, which it's not doing at the minute. So what I need to do is I need to add another motion command that says, when green flag clicked, forever, point towards the mouse pointer, and we use the move command. Move, I don't think 10, because I think 10's too many, so we'll move it 1 step. So, when green flag clicked, forever, point towards the mouse pointer and move 1 step. Let's see if that works. Green flag. Here we go, look. The sprite is always pointing towards the arrow, and it's always moving forward 1 step in the direction of where it's facing. So again, this might not be something that you want to use in your game, but it shows you how you can write these simple scripts to perform user interaction. Just going to stop that. Something that I do want to show you before this video finishes is if you're not happy with any of these scripts, if you make a mistake, you can just click on the part of the script you don't want, drag it over here, and it disappears, so it deletes it. Okay, I'm going to put that one back on because I do want to keep that. But if you're not happy with it, you can just click, drag them over here, and it deletes it like that. Okay, so let me just put this back on, and that'll conclude the video. Here we go.